I have other people that are interested right now at this point. They want to take it and make an apartment complex out of it. It's probably going to run about $26 million. The county assessor told me that the other day. We were talking about that. They were in there talking to them about my building. And I hope it comes out best for the city of Dubuque and me and everybody else. And they do want to buy other portions of the buildings too.
Okay, and so I guess where is that kind of in this stage?
They want to start working on it as soon as possible.
Okay. I guess, do you have a signed contract? Is everything fine?
Yeah, we got signed contract and everything else, but we don't have, the closing of the date. It's within 60 days, but, they like to get started on it right away to stabilize the walls and stuff like that.
We have 2 court proceedings pending, and we have some options for what we would ask the court to do. We could impose fines. As the court history indicates, sometimes the city has imposed fines, other times the city has not. It has not seemed to change the behavior in either direction, but it is a possibility. Fines or no fines, neither has resulted in repairs to the building so far. We could ask for court orders demanding the work be performed by the owner once again. We could do this in conjunction with a fine, or we could do it without a fine. I'm sure you're probably thinking, well, you've done that how many times before and it's never worked? That's where we're at too. We have the power to do it, we will do it, but we may find ourselves in the same cycle again. As I mentioned, the problem is not the property owner denying the violations. The property owner has come in every time, admitted the violations, and agreed to whatever court order we obtained. The problem is the ability to subsequently comply with the court order. Ask the court for permission to assess the costs specifically related to the public nuisance and the investigation work we did related to the public nuisance. That would include the IIW structural engineers report, lien search, any other investigative work that we did to determine that the property was a public nuisance. And lastly, something we have never pursued before, but we do pursue with other property owners, when a repair typically is more realistic in cost and could be absorbed by a city department's budget and hopefully later recouped somehow, we seek permission from the court to do the repairs ourselves and assess the cost of those repairs against the property owner, in other words, against the property itself. We have never pursued this up to this point because even at the early stages, as far back as 2008, 2014, and definitely now, all of our knowledge, engineering reports, and everything else indicated that the cost to make those repairs would far exceed anything that the building services budget could absorb. And when we looked at the property and assessed the liens against the property, we also feared that given the assessed value of the property and the liens against the property, we might never recoup those costs. Or those costs would be such a great impediment to the future sale of the property that inadvertently we might block the property coming into more responsible hands by doing that. So we have not done that up to this point.
I guess my only comment is that a building like this probably should be saved. I don't think anybody should be beating themselves over the fact that something didn't happen or nothing followed through. I think there are so many things that played into why certain things didn't happen. The Titanic didn't sink just because it hit the iceberg. There are many other things that led to its sinking, and I think this is like our Titanic, and we can still prevent it from being knocked down because it has so much potential. And like Joyce said 3 years ago to the TH, if money were no object, we could get things done, but of course it's always an object, is what you said. And and I know that the city does their best, as I know through my own lead abatement, that they do their job diligently and get it done, and it's just a matter of circumstances. I have the ability to take care of the lead paint, where Mr. Krueger maybe didn't have the finances. As he said, $500,000 doesn't go as far as it used to in the article. So I'm hoping for the best. If it means cutting out that section in the middle in that picture to save the rest of it, and we happen to save the rest of it, and you get some fancy architect from Sweden that does a glass structure right in the middle, then more power to them, you know. But I think it's best to save things of this nature, so.